Welcome to Issaquah Middle School. Today we're going to be walking through a typical school day and reviewing the behavior expectations that we have for you students while you're here on campus. As Issaquah Panthers, we commit to being a part of the IMS way, which focuses on schools' characteristics of pride, perseverance, respect, integrity, diversity, and excellence. You will see the IMS way posted around campus as reminders of behavior expectations in various locations, reminding us to be safe, to be respectful, to be responsible, and most importantly, be kind in all our interactions at school. School-wide, the IMS way includes being safe by walking as we move around campus. We keep eyes forward when walking and keep hands and feet to ourselves. It means being the best student that you can be. The IMS way is being respectful of your own property, the property of others, and the property of the school. We use appropriate language, and we observe the no gum rule. We can be responsible by keeping mobile devices off and away, bell to bell, and keeping headphones in lockers. The IMS way includes being on time to classes and events, following dress code, and leaving bags in lockers during the school day. We'll now discuss what the IMS way looks like in other situations as we move throughout the school day.
When you arrive at school, it is important that you enter through the front main doors. This helps us to ensure we remain a secured campus and helps us to keep everybody in our school community safe. Our doors open up at 7:45 a.m., so please plan accordingly. When you enter IMS, you have the option of hanging out in the Commons, library, and the hallway outside the main gym. When hanging out in these areas, we expect that you will act in the IMS way. Students may use their cell phones during this time, but our policy is that cell phones must be off and away, bell to bell. This means that phones should be off and away from the time that the first class begins until the last class finishes. We know that we can count on students to pick up after themselves, to walk from one place to another safely, and travel to their first class after the first bell rings. One last thing, please do not enter the classroom hallways until after the first bell rings.
When the first bell rings, it's your signal to start making your way towards class. When you're walking through the hallways of IMS, remember to be safe, responsible, respectful, and kind. That means that you're moving carefully and patiently, respecting people's property, using an inside voice, using appropriate and positive language, and staying to the right when walking in hallways and on the stairs. When you're using the stairs, it is important that you take your time, and please, do not stop in the middle of the stairs for any reason. We want to make sure that you get to class safely and on time. Being to class on time is an important part of the learning process. Passing period is not a time to socialize or get caught up with friends. So please head to class, be seated and ready to learn by the time the bell rings before each class. Oops, I gotta get to class.
From time to time, it might be necessary for you to leave the classroom while class is in session. For example, you might need to use the restroom, or you might get a pass to come to the office. In these circumstances, we trust that you will act in the IMS way. Also, please respect the 10-10 rule, which means that you should not leave the classroom the first 10 minutes or the last 10 minutes of class. When using the restroom, use it in an appropriate and timely manner. Respect people's privacy, always keep the restrooms clean, and remember to wash your hands after you have finished.
Lunch is an exciting time for students at IMS. They get to sit with their friends, share stories, and get caught up on their day. It's also a great opportunity for them to build relationships with other students and staff. It's also important that students eat food to help sustain their energy throughout the day. When you enter the Commons, please make sure that you walk to your table to be seated or walk to the lunch line to purchase food. When you're on the lunch line, we expect you to be patient, wait your turn, and not cut in front of other students. Don't worry, there'll be plenty of time for you to get through the line and still hang out with your friends. When you're at lunch, we ask you to stay seated and to keep your hands, feet, food, utensils, and other items to yourself. Make sure you use an inside voice, use appropriate and positive language, return trays to the kitchen or compost them, clean food and trash from your area, and dispose of items in the correct places. And please stay seated until you're dismissed by an adult. Once you've been released, you have the option of staying in your seat or going to one of the following places: the Commons, the library, the courtyard, or the outdoor covered sports area and the soccer field. And we remind you that the covered sport court and the field are the only places where you can run and get exercise during lunch.
As a Panther, you will have many opportunities to use the library. The library is open before and after school and during lunch. You may also visit the library with your classes or when you request a pass from a teacher. In the library, be safe by walking, keeping your hands and feet to yourself, and using technology appropriately. This includes using the computers for academic purposes only. Be respectful and kind in the library by using a quiet voice, helping others to find books and resources, listening to TAs and all adults, and offering to help staff and peers. Be responsible by pushing in your chair when you leave the desk, using the book cart to reshelve books, using the open and close sign on the door, and keeping your time in the library academically focused even when using technology.
You might need to go to the office before, during, or after school. When you get a note to meet someone in the office, please head down immediately and see one of the secretaries.
Occasionally, we'll have assemblies during the school day. When entering the gym, students will sit with their homeroom teachers in the bleachers. Some assemblies are more spirited and focused on fun, while at others we discuss important topics and are more formal and have a more serious tone. We demonstrate that we can be respectful and kind by listening attentively to the speaker and quieting down quickly when you see the silent signal. Use applause appropriately and respect the personal space of others. We can be responsible at assemblies by keeping our voices off when others are talking, staying with our teachers, and following all directions. During assemblies, we demonstrate that we can be safe by sitting in seats safely, by keeping hands and feet to ourselves, and by entering and exiting the assembly in a calm and orderly manner.
As students at Issaquah Middle School, we have access to a variety of resources to help us be successful. We can go to the counseling office if we ever need to talk about a class or if we have concerns regarding friends. We also have an on-site teen health counselor who meets with students to support us when we're dealing with anxiety, stress, depression, or could just use someone to talk to. If you or your family needs help with food, school supplies, clothes, or financial aid to help with school activity, come visit the counseling office and we can help connect you with community and district resources to help. If you need academic support, there's the after-school tutoring program sponsored by the Issaquah Schools Foundation. It's where students can meet with teachers after school to get help with a specific subject.
At the end of the school day, students are expected to leave campus immediately, either by catching a bus, walking home, or being picked up by a guardian. IMS is a closed campus, so once school is out, students are only allowed on campus if under the supervision of an adult, by participating in a sport, a club, or an after-school program.
We are so excited to have you here at Issaquah Middle School. If you have any questions about any of the behavior expectations discussed in this video, just ask a staff member and they'd be happy to help. We're looking forward to a great school year, and go Panthers!